and welcome to episode 23 of Loot Level Chat. My name's Adam Cook, and we're here. Me, Steve, and Lyle are here. We're here.
We're here. We've done it. Good job, everyone. We made it.
Odd way of starting a pod, but is there a rule? Is there a rule you have to introduce a pod in a professional manner?
No, we just do what we want, man.
If there was the rule, we've broken it now, so anyone can do whatever they want. Why
rule
not?
breakers, rebels,
Absolute mavricks.
That's what
Mavericks. Great word. Mavericks are great word, Steve.
That's literally the best thing you're going to get from me now.
That's fine. You've peaked. That's all right.
Peaked already. Done.
All right, but here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you say the word maverick, what do you think? What's the
Top
next?
Gun, obviously.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was hoping you'd go, well, us, obviously, but you went for Top Gun, so it's fine. Top Gun. Speaking of planes flying around and being all cool and shit.
Almost seamless.
It's pretty damn good considering it's a complete fluke. Speaking of planes flying around, you've been away.
I have.
And you were annoyed that you were on a holiday of a lifetime because you were worried you wouldn't get back. I'm just trying to amp it up for the pod.
Yeah.
You know, you were worried you would miss the first open weekend of the Battlefield 6 beta, but you didn't.
Shallow dickhead I am.
Hey, I'm
I
also sorry, everyone, but that can't have been the holiday of a lifetime. He's there every 3 months off somewhere.
He does.
He never fucking stops.
Yeah.
Just how you gotta live, man.
Swimming with the hippos, and that's what you do, isn't it, on these holidays? Swim with the hippos?
What did you just call my wife?
Oh.
Oh, wow. This is how the pod starts. Look at his serious
She's got
face.
your
and
number,
everything.
boyo.
Do you mean she's got my phone number, or she's as in, I've got your number, mate? You know,
Probably both.
probably
In this
both. Yeah,
instance.
yeah. She could take me. I accept that. Most
It
people
was to
could.
the point whereby on holiday I did take a moment to actually use the PS app to preload it so it was ready when I got
don't
home.
think that's bad though. That's
Is
like
that not?
5 seconds. No, what 5 seconds on an app to just click?
It felt a bit nerdy.
You're not going to be swim with hippos while you're pooing, you know?
yeah. He's got a point. Who swims with hippos and poos at the same time?
Exactly.
Oh, very quiet though. Well, we know that. We know now who does that.
That would be me then.
I don't think that's that weird. I think in the era we live in of connectivity, when we were kids growing up on holiday, I wouldn't have heard from you for 2 weeks because you couldn't.
Yeah, and then come
you
back.
just sent a
and
postcard
talk
that you
about
beat
adventures.
home, but yeah, I mean, in this connected world.
Well, it was bloody handy because it just means it's just ready to rock and roll as soon as you walk in the door. Not that I did it 1:15 in the morning, but I was sorely tempted.
You wouldn't do that. Wait, hang on. Did you not do that?
No, I did actually go and get some sleep before getting up and then instantly
You were
going
up quite
and playing
early
it.
though, because you sent me a text and it was 1:30 home, and I was like, I was up then. So this was the next day when I saw that I wasn't up at 1:30. Shock horror, old man in bed asleep. But you were then up when I was up. So it was well, either I'm really fucking lazy now and I just don't get up early enough, or you've got up way
I
earlier
think I
than
was
you
still
should.
back downstairs and firing it up about 7:30.
So we probably should mention if it's what do you think of it then, I guess, in that respect, since it's so important.
It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all right.
It's shooty, bang, bang fun, isn't it? It's
Look,
great.
I'm going to say that too. I think this is actually... No, I don't want to say it. I'm scared of saying it.
Go on.
So while you were away, because you, again, fucking hyped me all up and I got all excited, I downloaded the enormously large Battlefield 2042, which I played very long time ago, and then, I previewed it, one point, and it was whew, this is messy. This is a messy preview. I remember it very specifically because I've attended many a preview, played many a game before release. Obviously, that's the job. But this was one that stands out in my mind as, okie dokie, you've got some work to do, boys and girls.
And it stayed that way for quite a while
kinda
post-release
did.
as well. Maybe the first 6 to 9 months.
I played it. I'm still not a huge fan of that particular video game. But the Battlefield 6, I had heard, were... Let's say if you like 3 and 4, you will probably like 6. And I heard that and I thought, well, we've heard this all before.
I think that's very true. I
think that's very fair and very true. Yeah. So over to you.
I'm going to start off because I can almost hear people saying it already. Oh, it plays like COD. It doesn't.
In that voice.
Yeah, probably in that voice.
The voice they
Possibly
have, yeah.
slightly higher pitched, but very much that sentiment.
Oh, it plays like COD.
Yeah, exactly that. I would suggest to anyone saying that, go and play modern COD.
No.
Because it doesn't. It
No,
plays
it
how you think COD plays. It doesn't play how COD plays.
Did
I
you ever-
went back and played some of Black Ops 6.
The new one.
Is that the most recent one? A Black Ops. I don't know. There are
Just say,
too many bloody numbers and
the thing
editions
is,
now.
man, I can tell you this for a fact. When you look at someone who's playing a game online now, it just says playing Call of Duty because they've amalgamated it into the kind of.
Does it now?
Unless you weren't actually playing it at the time, but I was looking around. I saw you were playing COD. It just says playing Call of Duty, and I'm like, that's helpful.
It is. They are so far apart. It's ridiculous.
Good.
I think that I can see from the maps that have been included in the recent beta have been very infantry centric. They are very much grab a gun, boots on the floor, get yourself down some hallways and alleyways. There have been a couple of larger scale maps featuring vehicles, but it has been they've tried to use this to get lots of people in each other's faces. That's what they're trying to test out.
Yeah,
and they've said that since, I believe, as well, saying, hey, we want to get people in there, causing as much devastation as they can, and really push things. And we are going to see the larger, more traditional Battlefield maps later on, which is exactly what I would expect to happen. I think people going in, and without knowing that, people are seeing the fact that they're just getting, shot round corners. That's what they expect from a COD game, and they expect these large open battlefields from Battlefield. But we're going to get that. And it's always supported both those things. People seem to have these rose-tinted glasses about what it was. When you actually look back,
you can't be talking about
there are as many small
people.
infantry maps as there were huge maps. We just choose to forget it.
Yeah.
So, as far as it goes, it's as addictive as it's ever been for me. I've loved all of them pretty much in some format. I know 2042 is a little less than we expected, but they actually brought that back up to speed with inclusion of the portal mode and bringing back Battlefield 3 maps, Bad Company 2 maps, bringing back the gear from there, having some locked classes.
I don't think the weather helps that game, by the way.
No,
I know that was the big thing.
Either,
I forget what they called it now, but they've always had to have a buzzword. It feels. Do you remember Levolution?
Yeah, when you had the massive
skyscraper
falling down. Was it Shanghai? Maybe something like that. They've always had something to kind of.
That's what I mean. They've always had this buzzword, and EA love a phrase or phraseology. They love their phraseology of this year's game is all about the Levolution, and 2042 was one of the heavy things was the weather. And
you'd have a hurricane.
I'd actually forgotten that though, but then playing it, I was like, this doesn't do much for the gameplay. It
looks cool from a distance when you're the other side of the map and you can see it coming through and shit's just getting torn up and thrown around. It does look cool, but when you're the one in the middle of it, you kind of just thinking, can this just piss off so I can get on with shooting people?
Very much like swimming with hippos.
Kinda.
It's nice to look at, but I don't think it's actually a good idea.
I see, yeah.
I
think you meant swimming hippos so I can piss off and start shooting people.
No, hippos are genuinely one of the most dangerous animals on the planet. Did you know this?
Yeah, you're not going to outrun one, that's for sure.
Well, it's not really the outrunning of them. I'm not going to outrun a fucking ant, mate, if I'm honest with you. I'm not really hugely concerned about outrunning any animal. It's more the kind of goring and smashing that bothers me. But I really don't know how to describe why I like this so much more than 2042. But everything about it feels, I want to say, tighter. And I don't know if that's correct because I haven't got enough 2042 experience to 100% confidently say that.
Well, I think this again goes back to people's expectations. People always said we want these large, grand scale maps. People coming in, and it gets kind of too open in 2042. There is too much time spent from going from point A to B, or B to C, whatever you're going to do. It's a little too open, and I think that's definitely feels like that's been brought back in again. They've learned from the previous game and gone, right, we want to get back to basics of Battlefield, I guess, to a given degree. And by using 3 and 4, I think a lot of people's favourites are going to be 3 and 4.
For multiplayer,
then, one was renowned for its immersion level and how good that looked, and it felt like World War One. Yes,
possibly.
And even 5.
Oh, sorry, you mean Battlefield 1, the game that was called Battlefield 1?
Well, yeah, I was thinking, I got that wrong for a second.
No, it was World War 1 because it was called
But
Battlefield 1.
I think, the people, the things that people have loved and gone back to have always been 3 and 4, and this definitely feels like more of a return to that. I've delved into Reddit when I shouldn't do. I know how bad Reddit is for your brain.
God, no, you shouldn't do that.
I know, and it was only for Battlefield, nothing that requires some kind of face recognition for age concerns. Don't tar me with that brush, just so you know. Made myself sound guilty now.
Wouldn't know what you're talking about at all.
That's fine. We'll keep it quiet then. And people are moaning to hell about things like time to kill, and it's such a vocal minority, I think, because it is this little bubble of people who are so. And you know what it's like, to the point it actually made me go and watch some geeky comparisons of times to kill across each battlefield. I'll tell you what, it's slightly slower than 3 and 4, and everyone's saying it's too quick.
But on the other hand, the thing I've seen from like the Reddity type stuff is that people are in love with the drag animation.
Oh, it is cool, isn't it? When you're coming in there to rescue someone as a medic, so rather than just doing your little paddles, or even as anyone, in fact, go in there, little injection as you're dragging them back out of the line of fire.
Yeah, it's cool.
That doesn't get old, man. That always feels good. But then invariably you end up getting shot in the back as you do.
Yeah, but that's, I think a large part of that is the fact that we're talking about a beta, because I forget if it was you or someone else who said this on our Discord, but like the issue is that at the moment you don't have to pay to play Battlefield 6 beta. You can just download it and play it, because that's the point of a beta. Yeah. So you have got every type of FPS player playing this game right now. So for example, I play Medic, as you know, and I will say it's not quite like back to its best based on what I've played, but it's bloody close. Like I felt like it's okay if I'm not getting as many kills as Steve or Lyle, because I'm doing the work in a different way, and that's like
you're still making a difference to the outcome.
And I will also say that I didn't really. Towards the end of my session with it, I was like, I could change machine gun to like a different weapon, because you can do that. But I'm not going to, because it's not what I'm not playing it for the kills, as it were. I'm playing it to be a team member. I mean, I've had people stood over my corpse, not reviving me, shooting an enemy, and it's like,
oh mate.
Hopefully that reduces when the game is like, well, you've had to pay money for this video game.
It will. I think as soon as you have people who have made that commitment to buy a game at £70,
like I am right.
They're going to be the Battlefield fans, not just guys who picked up from Twitch shooters and everything. Gone, I was going to try this out and then moan.
You are essentially teabagging me, your teammate, when you could be reviving me. Do you know what I mean? Like it's that bad, and like.
Oh, was this the time that I've done it to you? Probably.
No, like it's definitely an issue, and it's.
But I think that will be reduced as you get.
I think so.
More core players back in there.
If not, that would be a worry, because like that we've got a question sort of later. The question of the week is relating to this sort of stuff about like prices for games and that to sort of and people for anyone do have too much income if they're buying games they don't care about, you know.
The beta is back on again this weekend.
Yeah, but it'll be gone by the time people hear this, I think. So.
Oh yes.
I think.
I forgot about how time passes.
I sure hope that you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yes. He's not at all bitter he's here doing a podcast instead of playing it.
No, not at all.
Maybe they'll extend it, because sometimes with these betas that are really popular, people are like, extend the beta. And they do.
This is EA. They are not going to listen to a goddamn thing.
Well, that's a nice positive way to finish the discussion on Battlefield discussion. Yeah. You know,
well, you can buy it when it comes out, can't you?
I really do like it. I really do like it.
It's not far off either. It's October, so it's not long to wait.
Yeah, in no time, mate.
It's really enjoyable so far for me, and I think that what they've done for me personally is they've brought the fun back to playing a medic somehow. I don't really know why, but they have brought that fun back, because I think, again, it maybe ties into that issue like you said about the maps of 2042. They are so... You go running for miles, and then you're dead, or you come in on like a 4x4 buggy, and the helicopters are just like roaming around in that game, just like, and people also, it's been out a while, so people have got good at being in a helicopter and just raining death upon you.
Oh yeah, that's never a fun time. The only thing I've actually thought to moan about is, do you remember how there have always been ribbons when you perform certain actions in the match?
Yes.
So when you were doing X amount of revive, you'd get a ribbon for that, and it would kind of level up. That is still there, but it's been put to a back burner comparatively. So it doesn't feel as like instantly rewarding seeing that pop up all the time and getting like X amount of points per thing. But
that is the sort of thing you still do get feedback on and change. That could be tweaked, because that is sort of UI essentially.
I would imagine be a relatively easy one to do.
Like a UI.
Because at the end you do get a roundup and you're getting your XP, and it just suddenly seems to zip through all the numbers, and you kind of like, oh, I did get them, but
I'd like the leaderboards to be tidier. If I was going to make a silly little complaint, as it were, because like if you're going to have 32 players on a team, and you're only going to show the leaderboards for seconds between matches. I can't scroll down to find
Try and
myself near
scan
the
it.
bottom.
I mean, they do highlight your squad, so it's easy-ish.
Yes,
that
that's true.
way.
I mean, the one I was so pleased because the last match I actually played of it, I actually finished above you, and I was like 16th or 13th, and I was like, I haven't got to scroll nowhere. Medic's done his job, you know.
Yeah.
No, I was like, but it takes a little while. It takes a little while to get back into the shoes, into the boots on the ground, as it were. But it does.
And it helps if you have got a squad of at least a couple of mates, preferably 4 for a full squad. It makes all the difference to that game. You know, not that it isn't fun on your own and with a bit of, you know, a few randos running around, but at the same time, you know, when there's 4 of us all shouting and taking the piss out of each other, it's fun. You know, that's what it's all about, man.
I will say as well is that while I was one of those, unfortunately, I was one of those people that was dead against the idea of you being able to change like weapons and stuff as a class. Like if you're a medic, I will say specifically, what is it? So it's recon, medic. What are the other two? So engineer's the one I'm thinking of. So in engineer, for example, you have you can actually equip 2 different types of rocket launcher instead of the default, meaning you've got anti-air and like an anti-tank. And I was like, actually, that's all right. I quite like that. Oh my god, I've accidentally swapped to that, and that's me as an engineer.
But if people don't want to be involved with that, then play one of the class lock modes. Like there is something there for everyone, as far as it goes. If you prefer that style,
that was the one I had the most difficulty with because I was playing it because I wanted that class locking from the earlier games. But again, because it was an open beta and anyone could play, people weren't playing that way.
Even when they were locked in, they weren't playing.
No, they weren't. That was the worst, actually. That was when I was literally getting teabagged while down. I'm like, you're a medic. Like, it's your raison d'etre is to revive. Really, like, tentatively hopeful. Which
very much so.
Which is a weird thing to say.
Hopes for this now. I can't wait for it to come out.
I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise in a way because, like, if they didn't nail this, that series is dead.
Yeah, arguably.
That series goes the way of Medal of Honor. If this isn't a success, I'd say this is the next Medal of Honor. We won't get any more.
Oh God, Medal of Honor! I've not thought of that in years.
Well, if you think back, there was a time when Battlefield, Call of Duty, and Medal of Honor came out within like weeks of one another. 3 of them, and 2 of them are EA games. When you like, that's like
going head
Medal
to
of
head,
Honor was an EA game,
sense.
but they've done that before. They've done it with Titanfall as well, didn't they?
Silly billies.
What I will say, because has COD been announced like properly dated for this year yet? We know we'll get one.
I've seen the trailer. I don't remember seeing a date.
Now I've said that.
That's
the one usually October, November, isn't it?
It was the what? Sorry.
It's usually October, November, isn't it? Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's usually end of year, isn't it?
It's just I just
don't great. I mean, we've got Gamescom coming up, so I'm assuming we're going to get more details there.
But what I'm saying is, if I'm EA this time round, I want to keep this away from any other shooter. I want Battlefield to sit on its own with some breathing space and not do this again. Let's not bring back the PES versus FIFA and Battlefield versus COD thing. Let's not do that. Let's just let games stand.
Yeah, well, they're so different now that you can't really do that anyway, man. Apart from, all right, they're both first-person shooters.
That will be interesting though, because EA Play is on Xbox, isn't it? As a free thing, as part of Game Pass, it's still there, right? Which means
I assume so. I've not turned my Xbox on in months.
Fair enough, but it means some form of Battlefield will be part of that, perhaps. Meaning, so you've got Game Pass for COD, and I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Speaking of betas, well, this is no longer a beta; it's out now. Dragon Drive, which is actually I didn't
say it.
Yeah, no, it is. I saw a trailer.
Is it officially Dragon Drive?
Yeah, in the Nintendo trailer, he says, which, if I'm honest, raises further questions. But
it does, yeah. It makes me think that someone pressed the wrong button when they were trying to hit the and button.
Oh, and they just went, no, it's too much work. It's trademark.
All right, still looks okay, doesn't it, on the box? We'll just say it in a trailer with sort of emphatically, and no one will question it.
But I wonder if this is a modern thing because there's another game that's been announced that's something X something recently. So is this the new thing?
Ball Pit?
Yeah, Ball X Pit. I think that might be a third
bit, maybe.
So maybe that's Ball and Pit. And I don't know.
Crossovers and shit.
Like the XX42069XX gamertag stuff is like, mind you, tracks.
And 46.
Yeah. It does track though, doesn't it? If Nintendo are a little bit behind with their online sloganeering. The game is actually the one that Steve and I never had a chance to play at the very first preview event. I don't think Steve has still played it. I have.
I haven't. I've not had a chance. I was too deep in the trenches.
You were.
Yeah,
I get the feeling that Lyle and I are going to disagree on this game. So
I think so, but I must admit, although I have the full game now, I have only played the beta. I've only just
time of record,
the full game at the time of recording. But by the time this is out, I will have played probably loads of it. There might even be a review. We'll see how fast it goes. But yeah, it is wheelchair basketball. And
oh no, you can't say that. I'm afraid
it's vehicle basketball. Sorry, we're playing vehicle basketball today. We're all in trucks, then nothing more.
It is though. That's the weird. We won't dwell on it, I'm sure. But like the weirdest thing about that to me, the weirdest thing of all of that, is that wheelchair basketball is a real sport.
It is.
It exists. It is actually an actual sport. Like I'm pretty sure it's at the Olympics, wheelchair basketball, and all.
And they don't call it vehicle basketball.
Terminology then as well.
Say again.
They're trying to distance themselves from that terminology.
As I understand it, there is no reference to there being a wheelchair of any kind. They are referred to as vehicles.
Good old weird Nintendo.
I sort of get it, but it is super weird. I sort of get that it's backfired, I think is what it is. I think it's done for them to be able to go, we're not being drawn into that online bullshit hate love thing. They are called vehicles, but I think actually what's just actually happened is it's backfired because it's like, well, but it is a wheelchair. This isn't like, what's your opinion on this thing, and you can be like either side of the spectrum here. It's like, no, it is a wheelchair, and
like they're not sat on
wheelchair,
like spheres or something. No. Like they've not made them not look like wheelchairs. They're wheelchairs because it is wheelchair basketball.
And surely just by the motion, that's completely implied.
I mean,
yes,
the way you control the game is how you move a wheelchair. So it would be weird if for some reason you weren't in a wheelchair in the game. But yeah, it is. I mean,
that would be insulting almost, wouldn't it? Actually.
Yeah, but. So it's weird. It's been handled weirdly. I'll get a bit more into that in the review. I'm sure once I've dived into it a bit further and double checked that they don't accidentally say the word wheelchair at some point in a menu. But yeah, basically it's 3-on-3 wheelchair basketball, and the whole point of it is that the controls are two mice in the form of your Joy-Cons because they are mice now on the Switch 2, and you put them on your legs and the arms of your sofa or a desk.
Have you tried both? Because I've only done it on my legs. And
I've only done it on my legs too.
Because the other day I was like showing one of my kids, and I sort of sat near the table, so I just went like that, and I was like, "Oh no, that feels really weird because you can't wheel a table." Do you know what I mean? This is weird because in my head I am essentially putting myself into the.
You are being in a wheelchair, yeah.
I will grant them that is. The motion is correct. I mean, obviously you are gripping the Joy-Cons like you would grip the.
The push rings,
yeah. So it is. So I found like putting it on the table, which is how they were demoing it, by the way.
Yeah,
that to me was like, this is weird.
I'm doing this wrong, almost.
Yeah. But yeah,
But like there's, however you want to play it in terms of where you put your controllers, I guess. There's definitely been varying discussions of what materials and things work the best. So you do have to do a bit of experimentation. I found that my normal pajama bottoms, my smellies as I call them, are fine. So
sorry, you what?
That's what I call my pajama bottoms. They're not suitable for going out of the house. They're my smellies. You just put your smellies on.
But have they been out of the house though? But have they?
Oh yeah, to walk the dog a little bit.
Have you been to the co-op to go and get some milk in them?
Sorry?
Only early on in the smelly cycle do they go to a shop,
Have you been to the shop to get some milk whilst wearing them? Okay, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not how I heard you. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, they work on my normal in-the-house pants, my smellies, as we've discussed.
Yeah, your smellies.
Yeah. So yeah, they're fine for that. So I didn't really have much problem.
Do they not wrinkle up and kind of get in the way as you're moving backwards and forwards?
I mean, they didn't for me. I thought when I was sat in my normal sofa position, they were the right sort of. Yeah.
Because I imagine things would kind of rook up as you're moving backwards.
But you don't really wheel yourself back that much, do you?
Not as much. You sort of turn sometimes.
And it's got a quick turn.
Yeah.
I feel weird having just said that, but it does have a quick turn. Well, they don't in real. Well, I mean.
They do, but it's not as quick. That was my husband is a wheelchair user, and the first when he had a brief, go on drag and drive, the first thing he said was, "I wish my wheelchair turned like this." So it is a bit easier than a wheelchair. But he did also comment, it feels quite a lot like moving a wheelchair. So they've nailed the brief. I mean, if other than
if that was vehicles, we're not saying that was the brief, by the way. Make a game that makes it feel like you're in a wheelchair. That's not the Maybe it was.
Well, after playing it for as long as you do, when you get tired, right? Yeah. Yeah, it is a tiring game. We can't pretend as well. It's a bit knackering.
Maybe that's the secret. Maybe this whole thing is to make us have more empathy for people who don't have the choice.
Yeah, because let me tell you, it's harder if it's a wheelchair.
Fucking right.
Other than having two mice.
Yeah, it weighs a little bit more, doesn't it?
That movement obviously feels like quite a big selling point for the game. How satisfying does that feel?
See, I thought it was. I mean, it takes some practice. Like, I played for a good couple of hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours during the beta period in various sessions, and I will say that I noticed myself getting considerably better as I went, because early on, someone would be racing past to try and get to my hoop to score, and I'd the only way you get the ball off them is you sort of have to collide into them head on, so you have to hit them from the front so they drop the ball, and I just missed. Always. Yes, there was basically not a point trying. They'd just go past me and see me being like, oh, fuck. Completely missing everything. So, it took some getting used to, but, I noticed that I was starting to get the hang of it. I was starting to, get used to those quick turns to be able to, quickly realize, oh, they're going to quickly dip this way, so I've got to keep up with them and that sort of thing. And I think there's a lot to it in terms of, mastering it. You can get things you can do backflips on the half pipes of the basketball court, and when you do that before getting a dunk, you'll get instead of your normal 2 points for scoring, you'll get 2.3 points, which will add up in a game.
2.3, yes, weird.
It is very weird, but it adds up, obviously. Or you can just do it where you do a little bunny hop. So you pull yourself up by gripping and doing the little Mexican wave with your Joy-Cons. And if you score after doing that, you'll get extra points. And it's just it's got these little things where I think if you really get into it and you're able to get a group of people who also enjoy it, you could really start to master this game in a very interesting way, because I do think it's not really like anything else. I'm also a bit worried that, especially based on the beta, it might not have the legs to keep. I know.
He's done it.
Oh, podcast cancelled, everyone.
Mate. Was there only the one game mode shown off, and is there only one game mode?
There is only
there are sort of different mini games that we've not seen based on.
You can do races, you can do races,
races. Yeah.
So it puts you into a big arena as you're queuing. You don't have to be queuing, but as you're queuing, you're put into a big arena, and you can opt in if you or out of these mini games. Fundamentally, it's the game is. I think the biggest issue is that it's 3v3 wheelchair basketball. That's it.
That is all you get.
And it doesn't seem like there's a lot in terms of progression and unlockables and stuff like that. There's a few customizables that you saw that you weren't able to unlock in the beta anyway, but they were stop showing them off, and they were just oh, you're wearing a different hat on your sort of bland robot character, because it's all a bit weird and clinical. It's the least Nintendo game I've played.
People are comparing it to ARMS, and that's totally wrong for me. I get it, but they're not. They're not really. Because for start, ARMS, you could just play with joysticks and buttons if you wanted to. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you could at launch.
Yeah, I guess they both wanted to show off different, unique ways of using controllers to a given degree.
And that is also an important point to make here. There is, I think, unless this game was literally about to be shut down because it was so dead no one was playing it, there's just absolutely no chance that they are going to add any other control method to it, because the reason this game exists is to show off the mouse controllers. That's why this exists.
I mean, it would be suddenly playing Wii Tennis and being oh, you can play that with a control now. It's it's like I'm playing NES Tennis. What's the point in this?
Why would I play this when I could play Virtua Tennis or Mario Tennis? This is the reason I'm playing Wii Bowling is because I want to bowl. It exists for the control method.
It does, 100%. And Yeah, and I mean, in some ways, that's very interesting. It's very cool that it is realistically, whether it wants to or not, it's showing off a very different way of not only controlling a game, but something that very much has an analog in real life of a way that a sport is controlled in a way that most games can't ever really have that one-to-one replication in, the same way.
It is clever. Like I will say, I think it's a clever idea.
Mm-hmm. It is, but I'm worried there's not enough to it. And then, I mean, there are obviously issues as well with not everyone will be able to play this game because physically it is demanding. So a game that's sort of about a real life, disability, a real life limitation of people is also something that not everyone will be able to play because it very much requires a lot of physical exertion and stuff like that. So it's a tough one in that regard that you can't, it's a celebration of one thing while also making it much more limited to another group of people. There's so much to it as a discussion. But it's,
they're sort of damned if they do and damned if they don't with a lot of that, I think, because if you, I completely agree with what you've said, obviously, and we've sort of chatted off the pod about this as well. But if they did just release this like ARMS, where you could just, even if there was like a non-motion queue, so you could just play sticks and that. I feel like then the sort of sharks would circle for that. Like, well, hang on, you've made a wheelchair basketball game. You won't call them wheelchairs, and now you're making it so that you don't even have to do.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? So it's I feel like they are in a situation where they're a bit damned if they do and.
It makes it quite a brave choice for them, to be fair, in that respect. But you think they'd looked at all that and gone, "Yeah, we'll just stay away from it."
Well,
to be honest,
it's only $16.99 as well. I think that's worth a shout.
Yeah. It is. It's not a full price thing. I think the elegant solution in this, right, is you have two queues. You have the motion queue where it's regular wheelchairs, and you have the non-motion queue, and they're using electric wheelchairs because you're using electric controls. And you make the controls.
Sound idea.
You make the controls, somewhat related to how you'd control an electric wheelchair that makes it different in its own way. It's almost like a separate game mode that's worth playing regardless.
It's because I found the sense. I'm curious actually, right? Because it comes with the little, what were they called? I can't even think what they're bloody called. The things that clip onto the Joy-Cons.
The little mouse cover
plastic bits.
Are you using them?
I am, yes.
Have you used them for this all the time?
Yes, and that's the only thing I've really ever used them for.
No, that's what because I put them away. Like when I after I've reviewed it, I put them in a cupboard, thinking I'm probably not going to use it because you don't need them. But it was only the other day I was thinking about it, thinking, I wonder if they make a difference to how it feels.
Yeah,
because it flattens it out a fair bit, doesn't it, and gives it a bit of a smoother.
It was more that because I was struggling a little bit with. So I was playing it like I'm thinking this is how I would move a wheelchair. And so I think the only bit, and please do correct me, and I'm sure one of you, if not both, will know. So to turn the wheelchair, in my head, I'm thinking of because I've never sat in a wheelchair, and I don't think I have anyway. I mean, I might have done, but if I wasn't aware enough if I was that poorly at the time. Do you know what I mean? I was probably on morphine or something being wheeled around, and I don't remember it. But my understanding is in terms of your hands, it's almost like, have you ever been kayaking? So,
yeah,
but not for turning, obviously, because you can't do that with a bit like to turn. You
do.
Yeah. Imagine you do one forward and one back.
Right. So that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Back on left and forward on right.
Yes. So that's what I'm doing in this. I think, unless I'm mistaken, it actually that tends to make it too sensitive. It kind of almost wants you to more hold. Say if you're turning right, you almost don't move the right mouse and you push the left mouse forward. So it's a slower turn. Whereas what I'm doing is oppositing them to almost handbrake turn in a wheelchair. And I'm not sure if I'm getting that. If that's what's making me feel like it's too sensitive.
Yeah, I think there are quite a few ways to turn, basically, and I think there's definitely a level of getting used to, because you've got brakes as well in the mouse buttons that you can click to then be, you can put a brake on one side so you turn the other side very sharply, or you can do the forward and backwards. You can just do one side. You can, let go of how you ever want to do it. And there are different ways, and there's quite a lot of nuance to it. And especially if you're not really someone who has, because I I recorded this podcast quite a lot in a wheelchair because it was a seat in our house.
Right.
Because we have quite a few spare wheelchairs. So I'm kind of used to at least, like, turning about a little bit. So I vaguely have an idea what I'm doing, I guess. So, it's like, as something familiar, there was never any part that didn't feel natural to me. But I guess it's not something that everyone uses on a regular basis, necessarily.
Given the price point, then, do you think it's worth that little bit of a spend to give it a go?
You should
is there enough
you should have tried the beta if you wanted to know. I would say
actually, it's cheap enough to pick it up and try it out.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the beta was a very good way to very quickly be like, this is for me, this is not for me, because a lot of people said this is not for me very quickly, and by knowing that, at least that's, at least you're not spending money on something you won't enjoy, because you might as well not. But like, if you missed that, then, I mean, I do think that having a lower price point is very good. I also think there's maybe a chance that going forward it gets lowered or gets included in one of the Switch Online, like,
I wondered that.
Bundles. Yeah, because...
Sorry, go on, Lyle. Go on.
I just think, there's a chance of that anyway. But it is a hard one to say as a value proposition, because I don't necessarily know how everyone's going to feel about it, because I played it and was like, this is kind of cool. But I do think it feels like there's not really much to it. And I'm a bit worried that, like, it's going to be something where even if I play it for like 5, 6, 7 hours, I'll be like, well, I have seen everything, and although I could keep playing and try to get better, there's also not really that much point to.
I saw a Reddit thread where someone
there to keep pulling you through it. Essentially, it's just
there's not like it's not got the battle pass or the like things to grind and stuff like that. And whether or not you need that for a game, sometimes a little bit of something to work towards is also something that helps you go along.
I saw a Reddit thread where someone had looked at the credits and said it's one of the smallest credits they've ever seen on a Nintendo game, and that sort of backs up what you're sort of suggesting could be the thing. I don't know,
maybe just a little passion project for a team to try out something new.
I want to shout out Lee from our Discord, because he said a thing that's not been able to shake from my head since, and I know, Lyle, you know what I'm going to say, but he basically said this feels like, imagine a game that is part of a larger collection like Wii Sports.
Yeah,
and that's 100%. And as soon as you said it, was like, my God, that is
they just
exactly
ripped out
the thing.
That one little bit.
Yeah, like there's a collection, and this is the one, and that is. I mean, Christ, who knows? It might be, but I don't. It is cheap. I can't even. The thing is, I can't go. It's cheap and cheerful, because I think one of the things it really actually, if it succeeds at the idea of being analogous to being in a wheelchair, moving a wheelchair. Great. The thing I think I can actually categorically say I think it fails at is in terms of that Nintendo character.
It has none of it at all.
None of it. Like, you think of ARMS or something like that, and like even ARMS is new IP, weird way of playing it, 1-to-1 to trying to be like real life, but like wild, punch out almost characters. Like, and this is
it all takes place in a weird concrete circle that's called the park. It doesn't even have a name. It's just called the park, and it is a grey landscape where all that exists are robots in vehicles playing basketball. Like it's not. It's not like the character to it that you'd expect.
Yeah.
I mean, the main part of character is the fact that if you lift up your arms and you can put the basketball on your finger and spin it with the other Joy-Con, and that's quite fun.
So
that's great.
Cool.
You can also high five people as you go past, and I tried to do that constantly. Everyone was trying to play the game, and I was like, "No, come on, high five time, come on."
It's also surprisingly violent. I've seen and watched wheelchair basketball, so like that is quite a aggressive.
Well, was that the Murder Ball documentary about that?
I don't know, but like the thing that surprised me a little bit about, I should say, right? Sorry, we keep saying it's wheelchair basketball. It's not 1-to-1, because wheelchair basketball doesn't have half pipes around it. That's worth pointing out.
Although,
you can.
That'd be so much better.
Well, yes, that's the most surprising thing about this to me. In a game where they veered away from talking accessibility, talking not inclusivity, representation, it did surprise me when I went up to do a dunk, missed, but did a turn and then just fucking bailed,
smashed on the ground,
and I was like, okay. That was unexpected. Like, that was not what I was not expecting. That I was expecting it to like the auto sort of correct and no, you can
slammed it into the concrete.
I like to imagine that there was a dev build at some point where they were people and there was just like red matter everywhere on all these wipeouts.
Make me wonder. I mean, I suppose really it's analogous to like Rematch, Rocket League. It's that.
Yeah, for sure. That's.
region of gaming.
Yeah,
but it also feels very new in a way that
and
like
also sounds like a tech demo for a lot of it.
Yeah,
I mean, it is. Let's not pretend it isn't.
Yeah.
This game exists to show off the mouse controls. I think this should have been a launch title. I don't think this should have been
as an
a
introduction
to
to a
play.
new way to do things.
Yeah. But like, imagine if they did like a bundle, like so imagine if Nintendo Welcome Tour was that and this as a bundle, really showing off the tech of the hardware. Maybe make it 20 quid because it's 2 games. I don't know, 15 quid still would be fine. But like, if this was a launch, because that's what everyone was saying, and even when I reviewed the hardware, I was like, the mouse controls work. But that's kind of all I could say about them, because like none of the mouse control, like Kunitsugami has mouse controls.
Have you used them much
Why?
outside of anything
Not
else?
at all, apart from the review.
Like, because you
I
can
say,
use it for the home screen, can't you, as well, and
but
stuff?
why would I? I can touch the home screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is limited to little bits of other games that I don't really use it that much
Like
on unless I'm
Kunitsugami,
doing
we
that.
talked about that. Like that having mouse controls is like, okay, fair enough. Never gonna use that.
Just
It
seems
works,
odd,
but
yeah.
I kind of liked the mouse control mini games in what's it called, Bravely Default. There's
Yeah.
some
the ones
mouse
I
stuff
couldn't
in
get
Mario
my
Party
head
that's
around.
kind of fun, but it's always like
To be
it's
fair, I
always
haven't got to that
specific
yet.
bits of these bigger, experiences.
yeah, and this isn't though. This is.
This is it. This is go.
I mean,
for
it's
it.
almost them like going like, well, you moaned that there was nothing to use the mouse on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's gonna, it's gonna convince everyone. I don't think it's gonna convince the people who don't really like thinking about the idea of using mouse controls on their Switch. But it was sort of never going to, was it?
It's a broader discussion and one we won't probably get into now. But do you know what it reminds me of a little bit? So there is like a dark era of me and Nintendo, and that was the Wii. And I don't talk about this often because the Wii is lauded as this incredible console that everyone loves. That was the era where I couldn't get into Nintendo stuff. Ooh. I'm very much a guy who likes to get a controller nowadays, with a Steam Deck or a Switch 2, whatever, but a controller feeling device and play a game that way, like very much traditionalist in that respect. I don't mind, like I've no objection to it, and if other people love it, but like when you talk about game, and when you talk about set games like Mario Galaxy,
Fucking tread carefully, Cook.
I'm trying to pick my. I'm very slow.
Here we go.
But I'm like going through the mud to get this out. Super Mario Galaxy is a wonderful video game.
Arguably one of the best video games.
No, not for me.
Fucking hell.
Because I don't want to play those games with motion. Like Mario Odyssey, for me, threads that needle yeah, but you don't have to. So
you don't
threads
have
that
to
needle.
Theoretically in Galaxy. I've sometimes seen people do it all without.
Not now, you don't. I have, because I have been playing Galaxy on the
Switch version.
on the 3D All Stars, and it is, even now playing it now, it's like you've tried, but it's still in there. Do you know what I mean? You know that it was designed this way, and again, wonderful video game. Not arguing that in any shape or form.
Fucking sounds like it.
But that era of Nintendo is the one where I'm like, yeah, no, everyone loves it. Moving on.
Going briefly back to what we said earlier about the little covers for your Joy-Con.
Yes.
See, I quite like sitting and just having a Joy-Con in each hand, Wiimote-esque situation where you can just lounge around like whatever you want. So I use mine quite a lot because
you're playing games with your arms above your head, like
I'll happily lay on the sofa like that.
Fucking got plaster as hard.
I've laid on the floor and just played like that.
Why?
I don't know.
What do you mean you've played like, for people who are just listeners? He's got his arms
doing his
crossed.
vampire sleeping.
Yeah, he's doing just chilling. And to be fair, laying on not on my back, that'd be insane because I'm doing balancing a switch on my face. No,
I don't know what you're doing, mate.
Prop it up on the floor, lay on the rug, like you might like to, like I do, and kind of just have your arms underneath you, kind of tucked in. I can't remember where I was going with this now.
No, it's too late.
I've
It's all
lost
done.
myself. But I think you should just embrace these things, Adam. Just
No,
enjoy
I'm not
the
against
motion.
it. I'm just saying this game reminds me of that era a bit where everything was. I hesitate to use the word gimmick because it isn't a gimmick. It is wheelchair movement. But you know what I mean in terms of game design.
It
so
harks back to it a little.
There were, I think there are a lot of people who were quite fiercely like that in that Wii era too. And if those people are thinking about playing Drag and Drive, they shouldn't.
Don't.
Jesus.
I mean, the thing is, I've mellowed out majorly, but what I have also got is fatter and older, and so now, like, doing that with my arms is like, this is hard work, and I almost want to have someone who's in a wheelchair next to me go like, you think? You know what I mean? Like, all right, sorry, I'm enjoying it. I'll be quiet. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because you can't really do that. You can't moan about how much hard work it is, because it's like, yeah, of course it fucking is. Yeah.
Have you rubbed the colour out of your smelly's knees, Lyle?
No, I've seen that too.
Put like two little like divots down them.
I'll let you know though. I'll keep you updated. Next week I'll bring my smellies separately.
Steve has really been on Reddit too much. If you've seen that as well, because that's a Reddit thing. There's some person who's like done that, and they've like rubbed the colour off their jeans.
Yeah, the guy with the denim, on his jeans, and his denim kind of rubbed into it. I did see that. I do spend way too much time fucking Reddit. I'll be honest.
Let's move on. Drag and Drive review will be up soon-ish. Whenever you listen to this, it could already be up. Who knows? Before we get on to question of the week, I want to talk about another demo. It's kind of like the demo beta-y week thing.
Yeah.
Hell Is Us, right? And the reason I want to highlight this demo is because I think that there are probably nowadays a lot of people in the same shoes that I wear, that is to say a little bit fatigued by the Souls-like games.
Was that a Shoes Souls link? That was quite good.
No, I like that.
No,
though.
but yes, it was.
I'm just
Stephen.
looking for
No, it was. That's intentional, 100% intentional. The souls of my shit. So this isn't a Souls game, right? I know a lot nowadays where you look at a game and you're like, that looks like a Souls game. So in this game, if you die and go back to a save point, checkpoint, the enemies are still dead for a start. Like, that's a fucking big change. But the thing actually about this, okay, that I found the most interesting is they've called it. It's a buzzword, but I can't remember what it is, so it doesn't matter. I can't even use it.
Levolution.
Let's just call it that. It's player patterning, something like that. I don't know what it means, but basically it comes up when you start the demo. I think there's no map. I'm not 100% sure on that, but there is no objective marker. We will not tell you where to go. This game is about being an adventure game. I'm paraphrasing, but this is you explore, you adventure, find your way through this game, right? And it made me think, and I said this to Steve, if you thought about a game you've played recently in the last 6 weeks, 6 months, it doesn't really matter what game it is. I mean, that won't work. A game with a story.
Damn it.
If you just skipped through every story section, every bit of story, could you still play the game and know what? Yeah, because you could just you finish a cutscene. There's an objective marker. I follow it. Think like Call of Duty. You're following a marker. Not everything else. You just Yeah. This is not that. And again, it's only a small sample size, the demo, because it's a demo. But you are working your way through this environment, and it's really atmospheric. It gives me a weird, almost Stranger Things vibe in terms of like the weird, almost synthy 80s music in the background, and it feels, I don't know where it's set, but it feels like it's set somewhere like Poland or somewhere like that. Do you know what I mean? But do you know how the Stalker games feel? That kind of not destroyed beauty, more like dilapidated destruction. It doesn't, and it does this thing of, you have an investigation. It reminds me a little bit in this respect of one of the most recent Sherlock Holmes, I think it was, where you have to work things out, and it adds, when you discover more, it fills the codex out a bit more. Yeah, so it's got all this going on, and some obviously combat as well. But it feels like it's not entirely, like, the combat isn't the thing. The thing is half, there's some, it's the combat, but also the exploration, the investigation. You go and find someone, and I really liked it. Like in the demo, to get into the main area, you have to get something off of an injured soldier, who will then give you the tool to get in, and you have to. He basically says, follow your compass to the east. Or west.
There's some wind chimes as well, so it's guiding you by sound.
So that's before that. There's a dude who says, "Oh yeah, there's wind chimes in the tree. Follow that. We'll get you to India." Then you get to this guy, and he's like, "Follow it east," and we marked the trees, and there are like crosses on the trees. So you'll get into and then you get back. You give him the health pack, and he's like, "Yep, deal's a deal. Here's the thing you need. You can progress." You eventually, in the kind of Souls-like fashion, I guess, in well-designed level fashion, you work your way all the way back round, and it's all collapsed down, and he's dead. And the health kit you gave him, you can now pick back up again. And when you go to like the codexy stuff, there's like a little picture of him that's like, he said to do this. Find the captain. He's got the key to the vehicle to get out of here. When you do this at the end, it just adds. Guess he didn't need that health kit after all then. And it's just like it's I know it's silly, but it's like the way it's up, it's updating stuff all the time, and there's like loads of like environmental puzzles and this going on, and it feels quite horror-y, but more thrillery, I guess, more like Resident Evil-ish.
Yeah, I'm getting more thriller vibes. The fact that I put it with more than 5 seconds on it, I've maybe played half hour. Yeah, I know. I got brave.
Yeah, wow.
It's just
wandering alone in the woods.
That hippo swimming really did a number on you.
Wow, yeah. I mentioned it because it had a limited time Steam demo, and it's back now and on consoles. I don't know, but I've got a funny feeling it might be time limited again. I really stress that people should go and try it, because for anyone who likes action adventure games like Devil May Cry's Bayonetta, it's not that kind of motion, but it's an action adventure game, and it's not a Souls-like. And I also want to mention, by the way, this is an Unreal 5 game. And I don't know what wizardry they've done, but it runs incredibly, the demo, and on Steam Deck. And I'm like, this
it runs okay on deck, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like 60 frames on deck, but it's 30-ish.
It's more than playable.
Yeah, so I was a bit like, wow, I don't know what voodoo they've done to make this game, an Unreal 5 game, run this well, but like people need to ask them and copy it, because it's pretty. It's not an ugly looking game. It's got a vibe and a style. Yeah, if you get a chance, I really strongly suggest trying to grab that demo. I don't know. I think it's an hour and a half ish, maybe a bit more. Depends how much
you want to try out. Then
it depends how long you want to. There's stuff you can. I mean, I didn't go. There's a puzzle I didn't go back and do, because it was one of those. Do you know when you play a demo or even a preview build of a game for us, and you're like, I've played enough of this. I want to play the full thing right now. I saw
that was me in the Elliot demo recently, man.
Yes,
I played literally like 5 minutes and went, yeah, that's going away because I want to play
That's why I haven't played that demo, because I know that's 2026, and I'm like, no, because I'm
too far away.
That's fair. I would like to say that point you made about him writing something in his book about getting that health kit back. If I wrote in a book that I found someone dead and wrote in my book, guess he didn't need that tenner, people would say I was like really sick in the head. Yeah. People would say it was awful.
And to be fair, he's not that mean. He's not like he's mean to you, but there's some like the intro cutscene I won't even go into, but it's definitely otherworldly, this game. But you're
There's a level of intrigue from the off in there.
That you've seen the intro, and you've seen the guy with the
jowls.
The jowls, yeah. There's no other way of saying it. Yeah. Okay.
It looks like he's got iodine deficiency disorder.
Okay.
Is that too detailed?
Specific.
I mean, I was going to just go like.
Didn't everyone watch that at school? About
I don't know what you're talking about. Bangladesh? What are you talking about? He looks like Mr. Creosote from.
I've had a long day, man.
Yeah, apparently.
I guess Steve didn't need that recording setup.
No. Right, question of the week time. Where do you think the industry will settle in terms of big games and big prices? Can consumers really pay any more? Are smaller games the sustainable answer? So quite salient, really, when you think about it. Because Dragon Drive is much obviously smaller and much cheaper.
It's one of the biggest games for me in the past year has been Balatro by a bloody long shot. I have put way too many hours on way too many formats into that game. And I think the most it was 12 quid, maybe? I think it was like 5-6 quid on the phone as well. It's super affordable, and the amount of enjoyment I've had out of that game is ridiculous. So it shows that even with limited budgets and smaller prices, you can go on to conquer the bloody world as far as it goes. And that game has been everywhere now. You mentioned the crossover with Dying Light, for example, and it's been in Cyberpunk. I mean, this is from a guy who's pulled out an indie game, and look where it's gone. So maybe a smaller game to what you would think would be a niche market is the answer, because sometimes they catch fire and go across the net.
It's one of those things, though, isn't it, where it's like, will your game be that, or will it be one of the millions of others that does not manage that as well? You know, but
not everything's going to be Stardew, is it?
No, or Vampire Survivors is where I always go for that.
God,
you know, one of those where it's like
proper budget.
Somehow this very tiny game that costs a few pounds is like the most.
We were going to ask them that question. Do you remember? I don't think we ever got to ask them the one about like, have you ever considered actually just charging more for this game?
Yeah,
it is amazing, and like, why are you selling it so cheap?
I didn't ask the Ponkle man. I don't remember his name, but he was in charge of Ponkle, the Ponkle man. I didn't ask him that question because I was sat right next to where the interviews were happening, and I heard two other people ask him that question. I was like, I'm not asking him that again. But he just said like, no, we have sold loads, and we love that it is just this small value proposition that then people fall in love with.
And I guess when has a price increase ever gone down well, regardless of what it's for?
Yeah, and if you're selling millions and have like built a massive company off this and had crossovers with Konami, like
Konami Among Us, yeah.
What about at the other end of the scale though? Because obviously talking about Battlefield earlier, that's going to be a 70 quidder.
But this is the weird thing, right? Because I don't buy collector's editions, and I mean I say that with like a picture behind me of collector's editions, but I mean I don't buy digital collector's editions, right? But someone is.
Yeah,
they wouldn't make them. They wouldn't do them if they didn't sell. They just wouldn't. That's the way it works.
But then how much more is it costing them to do that when you're throwing a few skins at something? And
well, it costs them in the long run, man, because they have to market it. They have to market it. They have to make it clear there are different versions. They have to send press releases to the likes of us telling us that there will be a limited edition, a special edition, and a standard edition. And here's what you get in the standard edition.
What each one has.
Yeah, someone has to do all that work, so someone's being paid to do it. So it exists.
Relative terms is costing bugger all in terms of time and money, though, is it really?
I really wouldn't know.
You're already making all the promo stuff anyway. Oh, here's the extra 10 minutes to add on an extra list.
I don't think it's quite that simple, but like it's the bigger thing for me is that we went from a situation where we kind of had it was simple. Like back in, let's say 360 era, you had 2 or 3 price points on Xbox Live Arcade, or you had a game that was a game in the shelves in stores that cost X amount. Like whatever it would have been then, $49.99 or whatever. Now, it feels like whatever game just decides on a price. Like, and that to me muddies the water because it's like you did get in your head. Like, so for example, Dragon Drive, you get it in your head. Well, okay, if that's $16.99 and it's Nintendo, it's not going to be a huge amount there, is there? And now Nintendo are even doing it where like Donkey Kong is a different price to Mario Kart World. Why?
Yeah.
What's going on there? Why?
It invites questions immediately, doesn't it? And not necessarily in a favourable way. I mean, I guess for a company like Nintendo, it's probably not as big a deal about those questions because it's like, who's going to care? It's Mario Kart. People are going to buy it and stuff like that. Like, but within the wrong situation, if a game decided it was going to go for a higher price point, that would be what killed it because it would put people off immediately. And if it was like not a known quantity or something, like, do you know what I mean? Like there are elements of it where, you know, it could be a very huge part of what makes or breaks something. But, you know, it's also, it feels like, to be quite honest, we are like the worst people to ask about prices of games.
The worst people to ask.
We generally don't pay for most of the ones we play.
I can say though, I will say this, and I know you'll identify with this, both of you, right? So the thing is, and we can only talk English prices because that's all we've ever paid. I know that like it's always been like, hey, there's $60 games sort of thing. It's like so now the base
a Final Fantasy game in
yeah,
France.
I have imported stuff like I used to import for PlayStation ages ago. Wonder what happened to them games actually. Doesn't matter. But like now, the sort of base average price is, let's say, was 60 quid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I think the brain does is it goes, you know, it's just a bit more than 50 quid. Okay. When you get to the point where a game's 80 quid, which is happening now, all of a sudden it's no longer, well, it's only just a bit over 50 quid. Now it's nearly 100 quid. That's the way the brain works.
Yeah, there's a tipping point, isn't there?
100%. Mm-hmm. And for me, again, like Lyle says, worst people to ask because like it's rare we have to buy a game, and that's a wonderful, privileged position to be in, and I acknowledge and respect that, which is why we make sure our reviews have deep thought in them, because that's not the person you're writing it for. You're writing it for someone who will have to pay for the game. So with that said, when a game's like, when it's only, you know, it's not too bad. It's 60, it's 50 quid, isn't it? It's 50 quid plus a tenner. When you're now going, it's nearly 100 quid. For me, that is the point where you go like, I can't spend £100 on a game. I can't. It's too big, because in your brain it isn't. While it's only 20 quid, I say only, that's a lot of fucking money. But in your head, it's the difference between 50-ish and 100-ish is a broader gap, and that's just the way the human brain works. Yeah. What I will say, and I want to ask this question myself, right? So let's all agree that roughly the top tier price for a base game, not including limited editions, special editions, is 80 quid now. Okay.
Yeah.
What price do you think the next GTA will be?
I was just thinking this a minute ago. This is tough in the fact that they can basically price this where they want, man.
So that's
if you
why
know
I'm
you've
asking
got that
you.
stat there, and they said, "Here's this amazing experience. This is gonna be like nothing else you've ever seen," but it's 110 quid.
Well, I don't think they would. Well,
if there's just a supposition that they have.
I was going to say, would they push to 99.99?
Take yourself away from it while you see everyone enjoying it. It's a lot to ask.
That's not the game that would do that to me. Like if they said, "Oh, God of War 3," but we're charging 100, that would be the game. I'm like, I have to have it. I have to have it. That's so, like, I mean, I'm GTA. Of course, it is that tier, but on a, you know, I would.
We
be
all
like,
have a game that would be the one that we were like, oh, I have to push out my own like money. I have to suddenly be like, oh, I'm paying this no matter what. And there are going to be some. There will surely at some point be a company.
I mean, I
pushes
bought
it
Donkey Kong, and that was what, $56.99. I should know. I just said I bought it. I bought that game.
Yeah.
But then also, I had been given a voucher for Switch eShop for my kids for Father's Day. So, did I?
So it's a bit different. Yeah. If you're not paying for it yourself when you've already got the money, or you're getting a portion off, it doesn't feel as bad, does it?
But the question is, where do you think the industry will settle? I think the answer is, I don't think it's going to settle for a very long time. I think you're going to get this weirdness where, like I say, it really weirds me out, like that Mario Kart and Donkey Kong are different prices. That weirds me out massively.
It is weird, so that's sort of fair, you know?
It may just make me think about the fact that when you were saying about going back a couple of generations, do you remember how PS2, and I think 360 did it as well, where they had the budget range, where it'd be like greatest
Platinum
hits
game, Platinum.
When did that stop happening? And I just didn't notice.
Because it did just stop, didn't it?
Don't they re-release games as like,
for a while.
They re-release games like as Game of the Year edition? Don't they?
Yeah, they found a different way to re-release them, but for more money instead of
I was going to say, Game of the Year edition now has like all the DLC, and it's a 10.
No, do you know what? I'll tell you when it stopped. It stopped this generation because PlayStation 4 had it, because Bloodborne had it. It was called. Yeah, he did. There was like Bloodborne.
I remembered it on PS3.
Something edition. There was PS4. Definitely did it. God of War, Bloodborne, that sort of level of game. They did do that. Mm-hmm. It had a bar, a red coloured bar at the top of the, but I just can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, so I think I reckon now that you've said it, I vaguely. Yeah.
I haven't got one of them to like go, oh, but like they definitely did that.
It just occurred to me. I've not seen that for a good old few years.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it's called. But yeah, we haven't really answered the question. Sorry.
No.
No.
That's a podcast for this week. I think given all the embargoes we're under, we've managed to do pretty well to talk about those games. Thank you to Steve, thank you to Lyle, and thank you for listening or watching or, I don't know, reading a transcription. I don't know how people consume things these days. Patreon.com/lootlevelchill. I do know that if you go there, you can consume our additional content, like extra bonus podcasts that we also try to bring you weekly. The Discord, like I mentioned earlier, where Lee said about the drag and drive thing. So do go there. Consider it. It really helps. I can say that it personally really, really helps. So yeah, Patreon.
And it's really good. You get so much good shit.
It's all right, isn't it?
That's just maybe. It really, really helps.
Okay, sorry, no. The
no, sorry, wait,
helps.
shit, no, sorry, Lyle, you're quite right. It is really, really good because we do try. Patreon.com/lootlevelchill. If you're watching on video, it's just above my head up there. Ish. Thank you very much. Do subscribe, do leave ratings, do share. If you enjoyed our pod, share it with your mates if you've got any, which you might not have. I don't know.
We're your mates now.
Yeah,
Give
we're
us
your
money.
mates now.
You got
What
some
could you
new
need?
friends to hang out with.
We're your paid for mates. Thank you very much, and we will speak to you in the next episode or whenever you choose to listen. Bye bye for now.